Hello, good morning on what is another very hot day. It's been so warm. I've got no idea what it is in conversion, but it's been like 30, 36 degrees here lately. Um, the other night it was about 9:30 at night, which is pretty much bedtime, and it was 28 still. It's been so warm. It's more overcast today, and it is suggesting we might have a little bit of rain, but it's just so warm. Now you just need to stay in, keep cool, and make. So today I'm going to be showing you how to make some lovely necklaces. I've called them Penelope pearl necklaces. We're using two sizes of pearls, and we've got large feature pearls, which we're going to be kind of framing with those bead caps. They're really, really pretty. Just making little links and linking them together. In terms of your tools, round nose pliers, wire cutters. If you've got your looper, I know some of you have been struggling a little bit, especially with the heat, in terms of turning and how your hands are coping. Then these are really, really good if you want to use them as well. And then I'm going to use probably two pairs of flat jawed pliers, like chain nose or flat nose, just to open up my jump ring right at the end to attach my lovely little magnetic clasp. Camille says, good morning, Natalie. Hot enough for you? I had to lie on the kitchen floor. I've got tiled kitchen floor, and I've had cold showers. I've got the fan on. We don't have air conditioning very often in our homes in the UK. But I've got like a red brick tile floor in the kitchen, and it was the only thing that could keep me cool. I was just melting in a puddle. It's been very warm. I'm not complaining. I did complain. I complained quite a lot. It's warm. Rachel says it's cloudy and muggy in Barrow. I love that expression. Muggy is, again, I'm assuming it's like a British term, maybe even a northern term of like when it's like really warm and it's clammy and it's muggy. Good morning to Elaine. Hello to Jan. How are you doing? She's in a bright Sudbury. Hello to Carol. Susan's in as well. Wishing everybody a good morning, as is our lovely Mina, our wonderful Heather, and our fabulous Pauline is saying it's cooler here today. It is cooler here today. What's the temperature saying at the moment? It is a little bit cooler today, but it's muggy. Heather's saying she's complained as well. I'm going to take you over to the website now. As I say, the best thing to do is just stay indoors and make. And if you do venture out, make sure you've got your sun cream on. I always mind about the sun cream. Mina saying she's loving this weather. It's nice to have a summer though, isn't it? It is nice to have a summer. We always complain. We're obsessed with the weather in Britain. And if it's raining, we complain. If it's cold, we complain. If it's too hot, we complain. We just like to talk about it. Good morning to Izzy. She says, hi, Natalie and all. Just driving home from 10 days in the caravan. I hope you've had a wonderful time. And good morning to Anne as well. So over we go. totalybeads.co.uk is where you will find our lovely tutorials that we create for you every single week. If you want to get your kits and you want to play along with exactly the same materials as I'm using, head into either of the video tutorial categories. You've got one here, you've got one at the top. Ooh, see, I love this page because I always find things I've not found before, and I'm excited about going down to the warehouse in tiara bands. Ooh, right, okay, let's not get distracted. Head into video tutorial categories, and today is the Penelope pearl necklace. So you can see we've got 6 gorgeous colours for you here. We've got 3 on a silver colourway and 3 on a gold. We have a reduced price on these already. There's 10% off. So you're going to be able to make 3 of these lovely necklaces for less than £10. They're all £9.89, which is fabulous for 3 necklaces, isn't it? If, of course, you're making 3 necklaces, or there's enough there to make 3 necklaces, you could make a really long one as well if you wanted. Now, in terms of how I've positioned these together, usually I would have a centre bead and that would hang right in the middle. On these ones I haven't. I've used a little bar as the centre. By all means, when I say bar, the one with the 6 pearls on, by all means, add another one in if you would like that to drop from the middle. You could even attach a pendant onto there because it's got those lovely little small beads as well. So I kept it open really for you to kind of do whatever you want with them. These larger ones with the bead caps would make really pretty earrings as well. And of course you could make yourself a little bracelet if you wanted to. There's plenty in there. But we said there'll be enough to make 3 necklaces in this design for £9.89. So we've got a black, which is on the silver. We've got a buttermilk on the gold. We've got lagoon, which is on the silver. We've got a light purple, which is also on the silver. We have an olive, which is gorgeous. That is on the gold. And we've got a rose pink on the gold for you as well. When I'm saying on the gold, I mean your eye pins, your clasp, your jump rings, and your bead caps will be in that gold coloured metal. And then we've got the silver coloured base metals as well for you, so you can choose them. And of course, if you wanted to multi-buy the kits, you could buy one of the gold versions, one of the silver versions, and you could swap them around if you wanted to. I'm going to be a little cheeky today, and I'm going to do a mixed colour. So I'm going to use, for my little connectors, I'm going to use the buttermilk pearls, and then I'm not going to use the black one, but I'm going to use some of the large lagoon, light purple, the olive, and the rose pink as well. So I'm using kind of pastel-y colours in this make. If you get these kits, you're going to just get that one predominant colour, which I'll show you now. So this is the black, our beautiful monochrome version of the Penelopy pearl necklace. And you can see how we're putting these together. I'm just making little turned loops, so a double-ended connector, and I'm going to be attaching them together. You're going to get your glass pearl round beads in 2 sizes. You've got your bead caps, your eye pins, your jump rings, and your magnetic clasp. That's all you need to make these lovely necklaces. If you want to know exactly the size, we've got our eye pins there for you. We've got our glass pearl rounds in a 10mm and a 3mm. So the pearls are the same colour, they're the same coloured glass pearls, 2 different sizes, using the nice big 10s and the little dainty 3s. You've got some iron bead caps in 9mm, which are swirled, really, really pretty, really like these. And you've got your magnetic spotted clasps as well, which are 8mm. Of course, if you'd rather use a different clasp like you've got in your stash, you absolutely can do. But I liked using these ones because I like the rounded shape with them. I think it complements the kind of round bead shapes in these necklaces. So this is your black version. We have the buttermilk. Again, just going to be using exactly the same size components and everything. We're just changing the colour. So this is very, very pretty. I love the gold coloured the bead caps against this lovely ivory colour. Really gorgeous. Well, it's a buttermilk colour. Really, really lovely. Kind of creamy, proper pearl colour, I think. So this is on gold plated. All of the sizes are exactly the same, so you can see I'm using the 10s and the 3s to make that colour there. This one is your lagoon, which is a very soft blue, really pretty. I couldn't resist just mixing these up together. I'm going to put them all on the same coloured findings though, so I'm going to use the gold colour, so you'll see how the lagoon looks against the gold bead caps as well with my make today. If you were thinking of maybe multi-buying and swapping them over. Of course though, if you didn't want to multi-buy the kits and you just wanted to change them over, you could buy this lagoon colour here, and then if you were to get, say, this olive, if you drop down at the bottom, you can just quickly add those extra components in. So you might have the lagoon and think, I want to get the gold eye pins and the champagne bead caps and the gold clasp and swap them over. So this one is how the olive looks. I think that's gorgeous. I'm loving that. It's just a beautiful shade of green. It's subtle, it's elegant, it's got richness and a regalness to it. Really, really lovely. And then this one's your light purple. I know I missed that one out because I was trying to show you a different contrast. But of course, if you need to add anything else into your basket, you don't want to buy the whole kit, you can just buy your extras down the bottom. Also, when you click on these, it'll show you what other makes we've done with them. So, you know, if you think I've got loads of light purple 3mm beads left, because I only wanted to make one necklace, I didn't want to make 3, then if you scroll down, sometimes you'll see this product's been used in these as well, which I think is a really good way of working. So you might think, I want to make a pair of earrings, but I want to do them a little bit different. And then you can just click on that and you can see when I did the Yvette Pearl earrings with those colours as well. So this one here is your light purple. And then lastly, we have the rose pink as well. Really beautiful, soft blush colour. So all of your components down at the bottom, using the 10 and the 3mm pearls, your 9mm swirl petal kind of bead caps. Well, they're not kind of bead caps, they are bead caps. They fit really nice on the 10s as well. And then you've got your magnetic clasp and your eye pins in your kit. So they're your makes today. Every single kit that you're looking at is a fabulous price at £9.89, and it's going to make up 3 of these necklaces if you want to do so. Drop me a comment, let me know which one you like the most, but don't worry, apart from the black, I'm going to be using a bit of all of them. I just didn't use the black because I think that that'd look gorgeous with the buttermilk personally, but I didn't, because I was doing a mix. I thought I'd keep those kind of pastel tones in there for today's make along. So let me take this off. I'll head back into the comments very quickly. If you've got any questions at all, do feel free to drop me a message. I'll do my very, very best to answer you. And if I don't know the answer, I won't make it up. I'll just find out for you and let you know when I do know. So who is in that I need to say hello to? I said hello to Izzy. I said good morning to Anne. Izzy's saying she's not had much Wi-Fi. She's going to watch us on Wednesday. You can always catch up. As soon as we've finished, you can head back when your Wi-Fi picks up. You can watch us on YouTube or Facebook, in various different places. Camille says, as kids, we used to sleep on rattan mats, like beach mats on top of the bed. I also remember sleeping on the floor on the mats back in Hong Kong. I have to have like a little blanket or something just near me ear, like over my shoulder. Mum used to put my blanket round me and it's just stuck. So I feel like I need the comforter, but it's just too warm. We've talked about different methods of keeping cool. If you've got any tips and suggestions, please do let me know. A lot of people have debated, whether you should put your sheets in the freezer, but I just wonder, will they not feel wet? And I haven't got much space in my freezer and I don't want like peas and stuff stuck to it. Got any good tips, let me know. I won't need them in a week. It'll be raining again. It might rain this afternoon looking at it. Jen says, good morning. For me, the ice blocks were the only thing that helped me on Friday. Temperature so far in Coventry is 23, which is 72 humidity. Wow. Hello to Tina. How are you doing? Mina is sleeping on top of a duvet and it is a cotton material. Fancy. Everyone's just sleeping on top of the bed with the fan going, I think. And Jan says, sleep in the fridge. Jan, so I had a little trip on Saturday, and when I got back, we'd done bits and bobs of trying to get tea ready, or dinner, whichever you refer to it as. And I opened the freezer and was like, oh. So I decided to empty out all of my drawers in the freezer, have a good clean and a good organise. And it's a job that I don't do as frequently as I probably should. But it was just so warm, I just wanted to climb in. So yeah, I didn't sleep in the fridge, but I was close. Okay, so these are our lovely colours today. We've got the gorgeous black. We've got this lovely kind of rose pinky colour here. We have this gorgeous bluishy colour, which is your lagoon. We have the greeny colour, which is your olive. We've got a lovely light purple, which is It's light purple, it's a little bit violet, it's a little bit lilac, it's somewhere in between, it's light purple. And then these ones here are your buttermilk. I'm touching them, but I don't know whether you can see. So all I'm doing is framing, let's move them to the side. I'm framing those lovely large 10mm pearls. Not enough focus, there we go. Might give that screen a little wipe. And framing them with the bead caps. As you can see, those bead caps have got that beautiful swirl on the top. And then I'm just placing 6 little pearls in between on that one. Oh, I don't really want to start. Sorry. Little polishing cloth across those lenses to see. That looks a bit better, doesn't it? There you go. It is quite dark in here today, though. So that is your buttermilk one. I know Camille says it's supposed to rain today. That's on your gold. Exactly the same. I'll just show you the bead caps in the silver. So I'm using those little eye pins just to turn a loop. So we've got those double connectors. You have that gorgeous magnetic clasp, which makes it very easy to go on and wear. I mean, if you wanted to, you could even have that at the front and have that as like a little pendant. By all means, if you want to add a pendant on this, the way I've placed them and positioned them, I'm using, with the bead caps, I've got 12 of those. If you wanted to add an extra one in, that would sit in the centre here. But the way this sits, the bar is your centre. So you could, if you wanted, pop a little pendant on. Or, of course, you could, if you've got like a head pin, you could always pop another one just onto the bottom there. I'm saying a head pin rather than an eye pin because you won't need that extra loop. So you could do whatever you wanted with this design. So I've got 13 of these little sections with the 3mm pearls, and I've got 12 of those. They're really straightforward, very easy to make. We're just connecting them once we've made them. That one's your lagoon. This one is your olive. This is your rose. Really pretty, gorgeous colour. You often put pinks with silver, really, but I'm loving that with the gold. And then this would look lovely with the gold as well, but I thought I'd give it like a monochrome look. If you were multi-buying or you wanted to add some extras in, then you could add in your different coloured large pearls, or you could swap these round. So you could have maybe your buttermilk and then your large black, or you could have your small black pearls with your buttermilk if you wanted to mix them that way as well. They do look lovely together if you wanted to layer them up as well. So I will put them all down on the floor and let's get making. So I'm going to make my large pearls with my lovely little bead caps, and I'm going to make 12 of those in total. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start off checking the loop on my pin is fully closed, the existing loop that's already there, and you can give it a straighten up if need to. And then I'm going to pop my bead cap on first, and I want this facing up. It's like a little cup, so when I put my lovely large 10mm pearl on, it's just going to sit really nice and snugly inside. And then I'm going to add my other bead cap on top, like so. And then to turn my pin, I want to turn it really nice and close. So I'm going to make sure, if I can, that my loop's facing in the same direction as the next one I'll turn. If it doesn't and it moves slightly out, I can just readjust with my pliers at the end. But I'm going to turn this either towards me or away from me with this loop facing up. I'm going to put a bend in it. And I'm going to do a horizontal-ish bend, like a 90-degree angle. And by just bending, I kind of want to make sure that that bead cap is then close around that bead. So there's not much space between the bend and the bead cap. I'm not wrapping a loop, I'm just turning a loop. And then I'm going to come in with my cutters, and I'm going to leave about 1 centimetre. And I'm just going to hold on to the end of the part that I'm cutting so it doesn't fire away. and I keep that in a little pile. And then I'm just going to turn a loop, really straightforward. I'm going to pop my pin into my pliers. I'm only going to use the smaller end of my pliers. They're tapered so it gets bigger. That loop's going to be bigger towards the handle. You can see it gradually gets larger. So if you want to make it exact, then you can pop in your plier to your existing loop, and you can see, so if I turn about there, it will become the same size. So you can mark that on if you want to, or you can just do it by eye. I'm going to make sure it's nice and flush. There's no pin sticking out the back of this, and that way I'm going to turn that whole pin. If I've got a little bit sticking out here, that little bit isn't going to turn. So I want to just keep it nice and flush in the jaws of my pliers. I'm going to position my hand around that bead. So my thumb's going to keep that bead cap down around the bead. And I'm going to give it a little flick up towards me, which is just going to create that little kind of curve in the tail. Reposition my hand so now my knuckles are facing away from me. And with little rotations, I'm going to turn that pin all the way round. So I've got lovely little loops on both sides. As I say, if one's facing one direction and the other one's facing the other one, if you just take your two pairs of pliers, you can give it a little twist and knock it back. So, you know, I could have one facing up and then one facing that way, if that makes sense. So I just kind of want them to face in the same direction. And I'm going to do that so I've got 12 in total. So I'm going to use a little mix of my colours. Bead cap on, big pearl, and my bead cap. Now if you want to use your looper tool, you can do so as well. What I want to do though is I want to try and make sure that that pin sticks out the hole in the back of the looper, because that's going to cut it off. I also tend to give it a little bend as I do it. So all I need to do is just squeeze the handle, and that's going to cut. I'm trying to do it slow so you can see how it works. That's then cut off that little bit of pin. And then as I squeeze that handle closed, you can see it's made a loop right there. But it doesn't get it quite as close as it does when I do it by hand. I also want to make sure that I've fully closed that. So I'm going to pop my round nose pliers in just to adjust and neaten it up. So give it a little bend and make sure it's fully closed. I mean, the looper's brilliant. I just find I do it neater when I do it by hand. Also, that pin can turn a little bit. So you can see I've got now one kind of facing up and one not facing up. So a little twist with my pliers just to knock them back into the same position. Make sure that both of the loops on the end of your connector are fully closed and looking nice and even. I'll do one more of those and then we'll do the little bars with the 6 small pearls on. So bead cap on. We want it facing that way because obviously if we put it the other way round, it's not going to frame the bead. I mean, you might want to try that as a completely different look. Ooh, they look like little sweeties. They're not going to sit quite as they're intended. So bead cap facing up in the direction that then hooks around the pearl, and then the other bead cap on just to give a little bit of decoration and a little bit of pretty to my beads. You can bend this pin in either way. I tend to bend it away from me. So I'm bending it kind of almost horizontally, or in this case vertically upwards. If you're looking at it that way, then it's horizontal. I'm going to cut off, leaving again about a centimetre, because that will be more than enough for the loop. Keep hold of these bits so it doesn't fire away, because you don't want any injuries. It's a hot day, things can slip. Making sure it's nice and flush, holding and supporting that bead with my thumb to keep the bead cap in place, little rotations all the way around to turn that loop fully closed. So I will make 12 of them in total. and I've done a mix of colours, done some in advance, and you can choose how you want to place them. So I should have 3 pink, 3 lagoon, or 3 rose pink, 3 lagoon blue, 3 light purple, and 3 in the green. I'd like to use my other colour pearl to do my little eye pins with the 6 pearls. You can see I've got some slightly different sized pins here, but a 30 millimetre pin, which is what you're getting in your kit, will be more than enough. If you have got 50 millimetres, that's fine too. It just means that you're going to be cutting off more of that pin. So I'm going to use the buttermilk on this one, and I'm going to add 6 pearls onto each one. So just slide them on. I'm just sliding them on one at a time. There you go. So I'm going to want 13 of these in total. So it's up to you if you want to kind of batch make them. I tend to make all of my large pearls at the same time with the bead caps, the 10 millimeters, and then I tend to make all of these with the 3 millimeter pearls together as well. Sometimes I will do them one by one, and other times like this, I'm just going to slide my 6 pearls onto each of my pins so they're ready to go. And you can use your looper with this as well. And if it doesn't go through the hole, if your pin's not quite long enough, you can still turn it. It just won't cut it off. It'll just turn your pin, so you'd need to cut as well. It'll still turn that loop, but you'll have that excess pin attached. Make another one. So although they're small little pearls, you've got a good drill hole in these. I often find when you're using small beads, the drill hole just becomes minuscule, and like you can't really put them, even if you've got like featherweight kind of head pins and eye pins, or a fine wire or tiger tail, you just become more limited in the use. Whereas when you've got a good drill hole like this, it's not too big that's going to be sliding all around, but you're still going to be able to fit them on. It's just so warm, my hands can't keep holding the bead. Sometimes I just think I jinx myself as well, you know. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I'm adding 6 of my small 3 millimeter pearls onto my pin, and I'm just going to turn it in exactly the same way. You can use your looper if you want to. It does go through. You just want to make sure that I tend to give it a little bend as I do it, and that's just going to make sure that my loop then turns more fully. But I feel like there's a little bit more space between the eye pin and the beads itself. I want to make sure that that loop is down properly. So you can of course use it if you prefer to. I like to do mine by hand, and that works exactly the same way. I'm going to bend nice and closely at the top of those beads. I'm going to take my pliers and cut off, leaving about 1 centimetre. So the centimetre is from the bend to where my cutters are. I'm using flush cutters, so I'm going to use that side of the cutter, and that's going to make it flush. That's what it's called. So that's not going to give it, if you can see, I have one end that will be flush, and then the other side will be kind of pointed. So I just want it nice and flush. Again, want to turn the loop around the same place. Just going to position my thumb on that top pearl at the end, give myself something to grip onto, and if it's not quite straight, it looks all right. You can just pop your pliers back in and knock it back into position. Now your loops on either side don't have to be exactly the same size, but it gives it a neater finish if it is. And we'd quite like them to be facing in the same direction. Again, it's not the end of the world if they're not. So plier in. So at the moment my knuckles are facing outwards. I'm giving a little twist so my knuckles are now facing up. I'm just repositioning my hand so my knuckles are now facing down. Little rotations of that wrist to turn that loop all the way. And then we're going to be making 13 of these for this particular design. Of course, you can make more if you want to. Now, with your 30mm pin, which I think this one is, I'm only going to be cutting a little bit off, but you've still got plenty to fit all your pearls on. Now I'm adding 6 pearls onto each of these small ones, but again, if you wanted to add more or less, you absolutely can. You've got enough in your kits to be making 3 necklaces in this design. So I should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 of what I'm going to refer to as like my bars. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of my large pearls with the bead caps. Victoria says, I think I'll do this pattern with miracle beads. That would be lovely, Victoria. They catch the sunshine as well. If you need any more miracle beads, do check out the Totally Beads website, because we've got an abundance of sizes and colours on there as well. So now I just need to decide, because I've been a bit naughty and I've mixed my colours up, just how I would like them positioned. So I think I probably will do the same on each side. Obviously I'll have my bars in between each one, but I think I will go for symmetrical. I don't have to. So I'll probably lay them out. I know I'm moving far up the screen there. So I'd want I'll go for green, and then I'll do pink, and then I'll do lagoon, and then maybe a purple, and then I'll do, that's not going to work because I've got 3 of each colour. So instead, I'm going to go purple, blue, pink, green. I'm going to go purple, pink, blue, and green. And then I'll do a light purple and a light pink or rose pink. And then I will do my lagoon and then my green. So I'm just laying them out in kind of whatever order I want to put them if I'm doing a mix of my colours. And then it's just a case of assembling them as I want to. So I'm going to take my little bar with my 6 beads on, and I'm going to open up that end by just giving it a little flick up like a jump ring, and I'm going to slide on the loop from my large bead and then close it back down. Close that over, and then I'm going to do the same on the other side. So I'm going to open up the little loop. I find it easier to open the loop on the small 3mm pearl sections than I do the large one with the bead caps, but that will link it together. Giving it a little flick up, sliding it on. And this is why we want to make sure our loops are fully closed, because if there's a little opening, they could slide out and we don't want that. And I'll just work off both ends. Oh, so you can, if you want to, you can open the bead cap, or we'll open the loop on the bead cap, just so you can see it doesn't work exactly the same. I just tend to find it easier but it doesn't make any difference. And then opening up my next one and working along. I'll do the other side. Just find where that opening is. And it's just a case of attaching them all together. Lifting up my link, closing it back down fully. I want those little bits of the wire on the loop to essentially touch each other. A little flick up, not much, just maybe a couple of millimeters, enough to just slide in that connector on the pearl. If it's not quite fully turned, you can always go back in with your round nose pliers, or you can always cheat a little bit by just compressing on the outside of that loop. Little flick up, attach the bead, and close it back down. If you want to just work along, you can open it up at the bead cap, slide it on through, and close it back down. Open, attach, and close. So this is a quick make really. You'll find that the only thing you'll spend much time on is doing your little turned loops at the top. If you wanted to, if you were to do this with wire, you could do it as kind of like rosary linking, and you could of course do wrapped loops with this as well. That's going to give it some extra security. But I find as long as you turn your loops properly, this will be a nice secure make, as long as they're all closed, and it's a nice quick make. Turning loops is much quicker than doing wrapped loops. So entirely up to you what you want to do in the design in terms of making it how you want it, what your preference is, but it's really quick just to assemble it. You're just linking them all together because you've made those double-ended connectors using those pins. And of course on the pin there's already one loop turned for you, so you're just turning one, closing it over. So that would be my centre. So I quite like the fact that they don't match on each side, but I've got that kind of continuity of the colour kind of running through it. So I'm just going to attach my last ones. Of course, if you get the kit, you're just buying one kit, all of your pearls will be the same colour. So your 3mm pearls in these sections will be the same as the 10mm pearls on that section as well. So my last one. So it's looking like this. And then just to finish, I'm going to use 2 bars which are going to sit along the back of the neckline. Now I can see already this one's the one that I turned with the looper tool, and I would like that loop to be a little bit closer because it's just, they move a little bit. So I'm going to be a little bit more pedantic, if that's the word. A little bit more of a perfectionist. And I'm just going to redo that one. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. I'd just rather have, this is my 30mm pin. I want my 6 pearls to be right at the top of that loop if I can. Sometimes you might find you don't need to give it a trim. You might already have just a centimetre left after that bend. There you go. So you can see they're not sliding and moving around as much as if there's a little bit. It's only a small gap from that loop, but it's making the difference. So I'm going to open up whichever way and connect. So these two little bars will be what sits at the back of the neck and what I'm going to attach my clasp onto. So your jump rings in your kit are small and dainty. They're not much bigger than the loops that you're making. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to get my gorgeous magnetic clasp and I'm going to open up my jump ring. So I'm going to take 2 pairs of pliers. Now I want my pliers to be, you can use jump ring opener as well, like you can get little rings that sit on your finger. I just prefer to use two pliers which are flat in the middle. What I mean by flat in the middle is you can see there's no grooves inside of there. If you're getting one with grooves inside, and I don't think I've got a pair of pliers to show you, I don't find them being proper jewellery tools because they mark the inside of your wire. They'll mark your jump rings. You can see that jump ring is just come straight out the bag. It's not closed. You can see how they're like slightly staggered, not fully like lined up. I'm going to give it a little twist towards me. So I'm going to take lots of surface area. I tend to take one plier vertically, one horizontally. And I'm just going to, oh, did you hear that click? Telf was in shot. It clicked closed perfectly. Give it a little twist towards me or away from me. Not by much, just a little bit. I'm always going to turn it towards me or away from me, a bit like opening a door. I'm not opening it out because I don't want to distort that shape. I've got that lovely round shape. And the more I open and close it, the weaker and the more kind of stress and tension I'm going to be putting on that jump ring. So a little twist open, just a little bit. And I'm going to slide that through to one end. And I've already got a jump ring on that bit. And then I'm going to close it over. Now these are magnetic clasps, so you do find that sometimes it wants to stick to your tools as well. They are small jump rings, so you might want to swap to a finer pair of pliers. But then to close, I'm just going to go back in the opposite direction. I'm just going to get a little bit of purchase, so I'm going to turn my jump ring a little bit, just so it's going to drop that clasp. And then a little turn back close. And I want those to be fully aligned. Can you see? Because if there's a little opening in that, then there's a chance my lovely little loop at the end could open or like just slip through. Again, a little cheap, but sometimes if you want to, you can put a tiny bit of pressure on your loop and that should close it in a little bit more. And then same on the other side. So I'm going to take my jump ring, which is already opened. I'm going to slide that through the other half of the magnetic clasp and onto the loop from my other pearl section. I'm going to take my pliers. I tend to keep the part that doesn't turn in my less dominant hand, and then I turn with my dominant one. Just lining them up. If you take it sometimes, this doesn't want to focus. If you take it past the point where those two ends meet, it should spring back. It doesn't want to focus. It should spring back perfectly closed and aligned. And that is your Penelopy pearl necklace. Done and dusted. This one's on the gold colourway and I've cheated and used in a range of colours. I'll show you how it looks when worn. Of course, if you want to make this longer, I don't know why I put necklaces on. If you want to make this longer, then you just add more sections in. If you want to make it smaller, you can take them out. This, I think, sits lovely. So again, if you want to have one of your pearls being more central, then you can add an extra 10mm on to sit centre, just slide it a little bit. But that is my gorgeous Penelopy pearl necklace. They are a bargain price today. They've already got 10% off on the website, so they're just £9.89, and that's going to make 3. We've got a black, a buttermilk, a lagoon, a light purple, a olive, and a rose pink for you. They're all £9.89. You can change your currency as well. We ship worldwide. So if you wanted to change your currency at the top of the page, you can absolutely do that. And they are really straightforward to take on and off because you've got that lovely magnetic clasp. Don't even need to look. They're just on. Hello, Kath. How are you doing? Camille says, feel better now, Natalie. What, because I fixed that one? Yeah, do. I think if you're going to do it properly. I don't think I've missed any questions. If I have, then drop me a quick and I'll answer. Sheila says it's very wet here in Washington time and it doesn't know what it wants to do. I've got grey clouds, but also I've got sunshine all around. So they did say it's going to rain today. I think it would be nice to just get a little bit of a break in the weather. Mina says, Natalie, I bought 5 kits from last Wednesday tutorial. I'm going to make them today once the housework's done. Well done, you. And Heather agrees. They look like Christmas sweets. They do. I took a tub of those sweets that they remind me of into school today because it's his last week before the summer, which means I've got loads and loads and loads of stuff to do before he breaks up. So that's what I'm going to do this afternoon. I'm going to be back with you on Wednesday. I'm making earrings on Wednesday, and they're a little bit different. They're very, very nice. They're very, very colourful. I'm using seed beads. I'm using wire as well, and I'm going to create like a twisted effect. So they're very summery, very lovely, and very statementy. So if you want to come and be with me on Wednesday, I'll be here at 10 o'clock UK time. You can come and find me then and we'll make along together. I'd love to have your company if you can join me. Joanne says, lovely colour choices as normal, loving the blue. Quite like the mix, to be honest, for the girl that wants everything. Heather says, another lovely tutorial. Thank you so much. And Rachel says, beautiful. Thank you, Natalie. And Jan says, gorgeous too. Well, yous are all being very nice. Even Camille says, very pretty, Natalie. Thank you very much. Well, thank you. Thank you for being with me today. I hope you have a lovely start to the week. I hope you keep cool. And I will see you on Wednesday, everybody. Take care, everyone. Bye.